Hey, this is Demetrius Witherspoon, writer, director, producer of sci-fi. Join me as I dive deep into the world of sci-fi, films, comics, mental health, and fascinating conversation with amazing individuals. Be ready to get submerged.
What's up, everybody? This is Get Submerged Sci-Fi Podcast with me, Demetrius Witherspoon. So first thing I want to do is thank all the supporters that came out over this year to support me, and the new fans that have found Submerged Universe. If you're new to this podcast, I am the writer, director, and creator of a sci-fi IP called Submerged Universe. It's made up of 5 live-action films, have animated pilot, have comics, games. We have an animated series that's coming. We have another live-action film coming, and we're going to really talk about that as we go along. So some of the plans that we got coming for and events coming for 2026. So I can't wait to give you more information about that. But I thought it would be timely to talk about cons and conquering conventions in 2025. That's the thing. So as creatives, sometimes a lot of creatives, they can create, but then you also have to present yourself and pitch yourself to other people to sell, your films or the merch that you might have with it. And so this is something that I've done over a decade now at Comic Cons and comic book stores, but also giving back to the community in different ways of doing classes about filmmaking. And so there's a lot. But we kind of started off the year in February about when I did the Filmmakers 101 with Howard Rutan meeting. No, that's where we were, in Danville, Illinois. So Danville, Illinois, the library there had me come in, and I did a class on Filmmaking 101. And I always start with Filmmaking 101 because a lot of people will always ask, how do you get started? And I try to let people know that there's no really right way to get started or wrong way, because everybody's journey is different. So I can tell you how I got started and maybe some ways you can get started, and then I try to, people can take pieces from that to start their journey of making films, or even if it's writing books or making comics. So in the way technology is moving so fast, there's all different kinds of ways to be able to get your music or your movies and things like that out to the whole world now. So that was the first thing that I started with. That was February 8th. And it was a good turnout. It snowed a little bit, I remember. And it was me and my wife going out to that. And just so many creative, younger people, a little bit older. Just a good crowd of people that are either doing their thing or wanting to know how to go to that next level. And so that's always fun. Because I remember that I really didn't have that when I first started. I watched YouTube, me and my 14-year-old daughter, and figured out, how to start making films. and we were already watching films and behind the scenes of Blu-rays and DVDs. So, but just where to start, because it sometimes can seem like a mountain. And it is a mountain, but there's different ways of climbing it to accomplish what you need to do. So, so that's what we talked about, and different ways of, I go through the recordings, and how to get your sound right, how to get your film right, and just some of the basic things, and how to get distribution and things like that. So that was so much fun, and some of the highlights, and please forgive me if I butcher names. But there was one lady that she's been working on a script for years, and I would say she was probably in her late 60s, and she'd been working on the script, and she told me about it and everything. And so a lot of people don't know of the things that are just around near them that they can use to kind of start making their script, or so there's different or making their film. There was different, like, Indiana filmmaker networks that had different chapters that were nearby, but also the Illinois filmmakers had a chapter too that people could go to and get resources and get information about resources and things like that. So I encourage people to do that, and wherever I could help, I try to help, with everything going on. But most definitely, when they reached out again, after we did that, it was a beautiful thing to be able to help them and see where we can help their dream come true. And it didn't matter what age. Everybody's at different times of their life, but how you have something stuck in your head and you got to get it out some kind of way. Well, being able to have somebody to help point you in the right direction, it's invaluable. It's very valuable, should I say. So yeah, we did that. So that was really good. And then next after that was, there was so much. I had to go look up the stuff that I did this year. So next was actually Halls of Heroes, which was, wait, that was in May. I did something in April. I did another event in April. Yeah, I should have wrote all these down, right? It's hard to keep up with them. But anyway, in May, had Halls of Heroes. I was a guest there. And for me, I get a little bit emotional because I've been doing this a little bit over a decade, but to have talented people, young and old, come to my booth. I'm not talking about selling. I'm talking about being able to have conversation with them, and where they're telling you about their dream of maybe this 12-year-old, this 11-year-old kid was talking about how he wanted to interview people, like comic book people and different ones. I was like, you can do it now. I was like, come on, interview me now. And so I set aside time, and he did it. And he was so professional with it. He asked me questions I've never been asked before. And hopefully I'll run into him and his family again when we go to Halls of Heroes again. But it was just amazing because that was his dream to do that. And I don't know what he'd been watching, or it was really deep questions from this 11-year-old, and from comics to character development and stuff. I was just like, wow, I was just blown away. So I think I had their family come back through so I could talk to his parents and everything. So yeah, it's amazing of the people that you get to meet. And then also, after you've been doing this for a while, you create a fan base where people are getting engaged with your films and also comics and other things, but they are engaged with you as well. And so to meet them, hey, I had people come back at the booth and like, look, I got this comic like almost 3 years ago, and then you got this and you got that, and you even got the movies. So people were getting submerged, and they hadn't seen me for like, almost 3 years ago. So that really warmed my heart, because that means that, my hard work is paying off, and that somebody really likes what we have done and what we've made. And it speaks to them in some kind of way. And so that's just a beautiful time when that happens. So that's why I appreciate all of you who has come out to support and come back to see what else we have going on. So that inspires me, that sparks me, that gives me that fire that don't give up, and you got to go in almost like, for me, I go in not thinking about sales. I do, but I don't. It's about connecting with attendees that are coming, and being able to, if I can in some kind of way, help them out. Then about how to start or how to get going, or, hey, so many people come up, I got a comic, I've been working on that for years, or I had this thought in my head. It's like, all right, let's get it on paper. Let's go make it happen. And sometimes people just need that encouragement. I need it from time to time myself, because, life be happening. life be lifing, is what they say. And so being able to be a creator and focus on those things, and also spiritual things too, help me move forward. So that's what I like. So yeah, I always have a few people that have come up and tell me what they're working on, and what goals they have, and how do I get started. And I don't mind taking time out to talk about and give maybe some direction of where they can go to do that. And then also the panels. I had a panel there at Halls of Heroes, so that was good. And then you have people come back from the panels to your booth, and so we'll talk about that a little bit later. So Halls of Heroes, if you want a cool con, a geek con, and a comic book con, you want to be at Halls of Heroes. It's in northern Indiana, in Elkhart, Indiana. So that was in May of 2025. Also, I want to talk about how when you because some creators, again, they create their film, but how can I get it out there? Okay, I want to do distribution. Well, if you're doing self-distribution, you have to be in front of people. You have to get it out to people in some kind of way, and you have to connect with them. And so what they say, taking it to the streets and doing it that way. And so that's making the connection with people even stronger. I'm building my team, my fan base from the ground up. And now I'm starting to see the results of that when people are coming back, when people and their children are coming back, and their children are coming back and say, hey, my dad got that comic, and now I want to get into the movies and stuff like that. So those things are happening as well. So my thought, when as a creative and you have a booth, for one thing, if you don't have a lot, if you just have a film and maybe a poster, or even if you don't have your film yet, go to a con, get an artist table if you can. If you do have artwork it depends on what genre you're doing. Like, mine is sci-fi, superhero, kind of a blend of that, but sci-fi mostly. So I've diversified and did transmedia with my IP. So I have the films, but then I have the comics, the novelization. Then I have the card game, which was created by Brett Robinson. And we got shirts, we got tumblers, Submerged Universe Portal tumblers. That's something new that's coming out, so we'll talk about that a little bit. So all those different things. So that gives people a chance to get into the Submerge or your IP even more so, because they have other ways to get into your story world. Because not everybody's watch films. Some are just comics. Some are just, comics and board games. And then, I want to get into the film. So that happens. So, and I have my films all on Blu-ray. So when you have a booth, you got to think about what you have, and how are you going to be able to sell that to your audience. So, if you can get a booth, try to get a smaller booth because you don't have a lot. Or maybe even if you have a podcast or some kind of way to get in to be, or just go to a con, check it out, see what the atmosphere is. What is everybody's booth looking like? And even if you got posters of your film, and you can promote at a con, buy you a booth, and it's a part of your marketing. Promote until your stuff comes out. And what that does, that gets people thinking, or you don't know who's going to get into your film or your books that you have. So that starts to get the buzz going. Okay. So, and especially a lot of people go from one con to another, and they're like, oh, you were at such and such con, you got more, you got more of that or whatever, or I want to know more information about your film. So you can use that as a marketing time. Maybe have your cast, even if you're not done yet, have somebody come in as one of your characters dressed up as a photo op. have a photo op with the attendees, because people love, someone that's cosplaying. Your costume's really cool. Hey, here goes a free pamphlet, or card about my film that's coming up. And this is one of my main characters. Even the actors, if you can get them to come out. Now, I've done that over the years, where we've had the cast in full makeup. Full makeup. I didn't even have a booth. Full makeup. And everybody got a badge to get into the con. Gen Con. Gen Con had over 70,000 people. So when the cast would line up with all the other characters, people would be like, what universe are you from? Well, I'm from the submerged universe. What's that? And then they had a card with them that talks about that. So it was promotion. And if people got pictures, like, that's pretty cool, because they got pictures of characters that are legacy characters now. Over a decade now, these are legacy characters. So you have to think outside the box. And so that's what I've done over the years. So I would say that's some of the highlights there. And it's not easy, because some people, they're creative, so they're not really, they're a little bit shy, and kind of introverted a little bit. So if you're going to go, you have to connect with people, and that's can be hard for some people. So you might want to practice what you're doing. You want to, get a 30-second pitch together, 30 seconds or less. Because you got to remember, when you're at a con, that's why I have kind of bright colors. I've learned over time. You got so many things. There's so many glitters and glams going on. You got actors from movies and anime there, and you got people in cosplay. So you got to stand out. And so the best way of doing that is have your 30-second pitch down. So, my name is Demetrius Witherspoon, and this is my sci-fi film. It's about a lady that gets experimented on and thrown into a multiverse, and she has to find her way out and fight for her daughter. Boom. That's either going to trigger people looking, they're thinking, and then then you can talk about maybe the other things that you have going on. But that gets people, within 30 seconds, you should be able to have somebody, figure out if they really want anything. And some people don't. So have your little card ready and a QR code that takes them to your website. That's important. You have to have some, if you don't have a website, have it go to your Facebook page or any social media that you have. But you got to have a way for them to, for that card to work for you, because they're getting so much stuff. They may go back through all that and it's like, you know what, that was really cool. Let me scan that. So make sure you have that. I got QR code on my stand up, because while I'm talking, sometimes I don't have anybody with me. I'm not able to catch the person that's standing there looking. They're waiting for me to get done so they can hear more about it. So the QR code kind of helps. You'll see them click while I'm talking. They're clicking the QR code and then they walk on. So you never know. And that's not a failure. Just because people walk on is not a failure, because they had to see you. And even if you got to talk to them for a second, you got to talk to somebody, because I've found out that having patience Again, there's many things going on. Some people are saying in their mind, I like what he has. I'm going to come back through later. If it's a 3-day con, I'm going to come back. And a lot of people that say I'm going to come back, they do come back. But they have certain things they want to see or do when they're at these cons. So those can be kind of challenging. And you have to be able to engage with people with your eyes. I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but because there's a lot. But you can't be on your phone. Now, you might have to check messages, or I might check because I just did a live. I did a live while I'm there at the con. So being on your phone, you're missing money. Money is walking right past you, because when you're on your phone, you're telling people, I don't want to talk to you. And some people might come up and look. But if I'm on my phone, because there's a message that really came up where I'm trying to put money into the Square account, because I gotta keep track of everything that I sold. So sometimes I got to put something in manually. But I try to have one eye on that and one eye looking. No, it's kind of hard to do, isn't it? One eye. But anyway, I try not to just be so deep in my phone that I miss people passing through. So you do what you have to do on your phone and come off. If you're surfing and searching the internet, people will walk by, because that's kind of a sign telling them, hey, you're so busy in that, there's only a few people that can not even hardly pay attention to anybody, and they just come up. There's some anime that really attracts people, but you still have to be attentive, because people like communicating with people. And there, a lot of times, yeah, they might like what you got, and that's why they're getting it, but it's also because they're investing in you. They're investing in you. So you have to keep that in mind. Be attentive. Stay off your phone. And, this is your storefront. This is representing you. So how does it look? Go outside your booth. Look back. What is everybody seeing when they come past there? And so those are just some of the things, some of the challenges when you're at a con. And the next segment, we're going to get into even more of some of the cons that I did for the year, because then we had PopCon after that, Gen Con, and then I had some appearances at different comic cons, or comic book stores. And so, it was just really amazing to have so many supportive people come up. Also, Indiana Comic Con. Yes, I actually, that was actually the next one, because that was kind of the start. That was the start of started out the gate. So I had the Danville, Illinois, then Indiana Comic Con, because that was new for this year, and that was amazing. That was amazing. I met so many people, plus the panels that we were doing, and did a Battlestar Galactica panel, and that was fun. Sometimes with panels, you don't have to hold a whole big conversation. Sometimes especially with fan panels like that, getting the crowd involved. What was your favorite episode and things like that. And then people just, when you got like-minded people and that's your show going on. So, it just turns out to be a beautiful thing because everybody's, happy to talk about their favorite show. And so, and also we had Tim that was, he was a writer for some of the Battlestar Galactica books, novelizations, and was doing some stuff with Richard Hatch, who played Apollo in the OG Battlestar Galactica. So, yeah, Indiana Comic-Con was a blast. And I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along. So this is the first segment. I didn't want to go real long because, again, we got other cons that kind of dive into, like I said, Gen Con, a little bit more about Indiana Con, also Pop Con, because that's when I got into meeting so many film directors. And yeah, we're going to talk about, I ended up in 2 documentaries from PopCon. So, that's cool. And those are coming out this year and next year. And so I'm super excited to be able to help. And I hope this helps you. There's a lot, but I hope it helps you when you're trying to, as a creative, get your work out there, doing self-distribution, and just remembering that it's not easy. And if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Okay. But you're your best promoter because you are the creator, you are the artist, you are the best creator and voice of your IP, of your your property that you have, and your creation, your novel, your comic, your game, your movie. You're going to be the best at it because you created it and you got it out there. So self-distribution is not dead. It is alive. People love to hold and touch something physically in their hands. Even if they don't have a Blu-ray player, they're like, I'm going to get one, or this is going in my collection. So, and I love that. I love that. And I've even made a way where people, there's some people's like, I don't have a Blu-ray. I'm only streaming. Well, I have it streaming. The whole series and behind the scenes, just like the Blu-ray, is on our streaming service. So this is where I'm going to end this. Our streaming service is Submerge Universe VHX. That's V like in Victor, H like in Henry, X like in X-ray, .tv. So Submerge Universe VHX TV, and all the films are there. And then also you can find some of the films on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and Tubi, and even YouTube. So Submerge Echo 51 is one of our award-winning sci-fi films in the series. So you can find us on those places. So stay tuned for the next one. Like I said, we're going to talk about more highlights and challenges of 2025. And thank you so much for getting submerged.